Imagine a place where the air hits your face like an open oven, where the horizon stretches out forever in a blinding, deceptive sheet of white and gold. Temperatures hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the Shadif. You can even find any. Your lips are split open and bleeding. Your tongue feels like sandpaper. You have less than a pint of water left to your name. It is 1941. You are a British soldier, stranded deep behind enemy lines in North Africa. You are wounded, bleeding out into the sand, and completely alone. Suddenly, footsteps crunch through the gravel. You look up, ready for the end. Standing over you is a soldier wearing the uniform of Hitler as Afrika Korps. He cocks his rifle. You close your eyes. But the bullet never comes. Instead, you hear the unscrewing of a metal cap. You open your eyes to see your sworn enemy kneeling beside you, gently tilting his own precious canteen against your cracked lips. During World War II, the North African campaign was a brutal, grueling clash of empires. But beneath the smoke of the panzers, something extraordinary happened. A secret code emerged between mortal enemies. A survival pact written not in ink, but in water and shared rations. Today, we look at the legendary desert rescues that proved humanity could survive even the dark night of total war. To understand why enemies saved each other, you have to understand the theater of war itself. History books call it the North African Campaign. The men who fought there called it hell. Unlike the dense forests of Western Europe or the muddy, frozen expanses of the Eastern Front, the Western Desert was an absolute vacuum. There were no towns to shelter in, no rivers to drink from, and absolutely no civilian population. It was a war fought in a vast, empty ocean of sand. Because of this, the logistical nightmare was staggering. Both the British 8th Armada, famous desert rats, and Erwin Rommel as German Afrika Korps relied on supply lines that stretched for thousands of miles across dangerous seas and desolate coastal tracts. Water was more valuable than gold, and sometimes even more precious than fuel. Think about that. 1 pint of liquid per day while exerting yourself in suffocating heat. Soldiers on both sides became gaunt, plagued by desert sores, blinding sandstorms, and rampant dysentery. Very quickly, a grim realization settled over the frontline troops. The German or the British soldier across the valley wasn't your primary threat. The real enemy was the Sahara itself, and the Sahara showed absolutely no mercy to anyone, regardless of the flag they wore. Because the desert allowed for sweeping, highly mobile tank movements, units would frequently become scattered. Armored cars would break down, reconnaissance patrols would lose their way in sudden, blinding sandstorms. A single navigation error could strand a group of men hundreds of miles away from help, facing a slow, agonizing death from dehydration. It was out of this terrifying isolation that an unspoken, unwritten chivalry was born. Historians often refer to the North African Campaign as the War Without Hate. While the European and Pacific theaters descended into unimaginable ideological savagery, the desert forced a strange mutual respect. Take the documented story of a British patrol from the Long-Range Desert Group in 1941. After a vicious firefight in a remote wadi, the British were forced to pull back, leaving behind a heavily wounded soldier named Arthur. He lay tucked behind a ridge of rocks, unable to move, his water completely spent. Hours passed. The sun rose higher, baking the earth. Arthur later recounted that he reached a point where he was praying for a bullet just to end the thirst. Then, the scouts of the Afrika Korps returned to clear the area. They found him under standard operating procedures in other theaters. A wounded commando behind lines might be left to die or treated with extreme hostility, but not here. A young German combat medic knelt in the sand beside Arthur. Without speaking a word of English, the medic pulled out his own canteen. He didn't just give Arthur a sip, he left the entire canteen by his side. The German squad then shared a portion of their dry biscuits and marked Arthur's position with a makeshift flag stuck into a mound of sand, ensuring the next passing Allied medical truck could spot him. When Arthur was rescued by his own side the next day, He survived because of the very man he had been trying to kill just 12 hours prior. This wasn't an isolated incident. It happened all the time. The shared humanity extended all the way up to the field hospitals, because mobile field hospitals were constantly being overrun by fast-advancing tank lines. Medical tents frequently changed hands overnight. If a German medical unit was captured by the British, the German doctors didn't stop working. They simply kept operating, treating wounded Tommy and wounded Jerry side by side on alternating In another remarkable account from the Siege of Tobruk, a localized truce was formed at a brackish water well. Both a lost German reconnaissance vehicle and an Allied patrol stumbled upon the same muddy oasis at the exact same time. Both units were entirely out of water. Their vehicles' radiators were steaming and dry. Instead of raising their weapons, the commanders stepped forward. They looked at each other's hollowed eyes and sunken cheeks. No words were exchanged about politics, Hitler, or the British Empire. They simply worked together, using a single bucket to split the muddy, sulfurous water evenly between their canteens and vehicle engines. Once finished, they saluted, turned their vehicles around, and drove off in opposite directions back to their respective lines. Decades after the war, British veteran Robert Crisp wrote about the crushing reality of the desert. He noted that when you strip away the propaganda, the grand strategies of generals, and the political noise, you are left with nothing but men. Men who missed their families, men who were freezing in the desert nights, and men who were desperately, terribly thirsty. In the middle of the most destructive conflict in human history, the basic human instinct to save a dying person completely overrode the hatred demanded by war. The North African campaign ended in May 1943. Tens of thousands of men never left those sands. But for those who did survive, many carried a very specific, lifelong lesson home with them. They taught their children and grandchildren that even when the world falls into complete madness, humanity does not have to die. They proved that a simple gesture offering a cup of water to a dying enemy could echo much louder through history than the roar of 1,000 tanks. Stories like these remind us that even in our darkest moments, compassion can triumph over conflict. If you believe these forgotten stories of human grace need to be remembered, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm share this message with more history lovers around the world. What do you think of this unspoken code of the desert? Would you have been able to share your last drop of water with an enemy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the most incredible, untold chapters of human history. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.